changes, that's the way it goes. Sometimes it snows when everything's wrong. Sometimes it snows, but when it does, it doesn't last long. Down here, where we're at, all we do is sit out on the porch and play our songs, and nothing's wrong. Sometimes friends come around, they all sing along. Down here, where we're at, everybody is equally poor. Down here, we don't care. We don't care what happens outside the screen door. Down here, where we're at, sweat drips from the tip of your nose. You wear loose clothes and you try to stay cool. We all still have a lot of fun, never saw much school. Down here, where we're at, everybody is equally poor. Down here, we don't care. We don't care what happens outside the screen door. The screen door. The screen door. Moonshiner for 17 long years, and I spent all my money on whiskey and beer, and I go to some hollow and set of my still. If whiskey don't kill me, Lord, I don't know what will. And I go to some barroom to drink my friends, where the women they can't follow to see what I spend. God bless them, pretty women. I wish they was mine, with breath as sweet as the dew on the vine. Cherry starting utopian love. Everyone shouted in purple haze. Then one day they woke up from their dream state. They found themselves no more at peace than before. All their weekend conformed. Empty causes, a monster for the soul, a fix for the mind. Empty causes, cling to everything you find. Well, shots real like popcorn and the Jeep was hit and rushed out of sight. The Mohawk chain leather brigade rejoiced maliciously on that night. Someone cried out, fuck the government. His mates couldn't define what he meant, so no one gave him the time of day, and the scene died away. Empty causes, a war for the body, an army in the mind. Empty causes, losing steam as time goes by. Could it be that everybody selfishly desires their own personal retinue, and their guns are just manifestations of true and die, and far too little to do? Direction for the soul, conviction for the mind. Empty causes, cling to it all, everything is fine. Empty causes, a war for the body and an army in the mind. Empty causes, you got yours and I got mine. All right.
Well, hey, what's happening? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Slow News Day Live. My name is Steve Poikinen. I am on the opposite side of the state of California in which I normally reside. Kicking it with my kids this week, which is awesome. Just got them out of here and on the way to school. For anybody wondering, I did see a comment over there in the YouTube chat about the musical selection this morning. That, of course, was Bad Religion. That song, Empty Causes, plays on a loop in my head all the time. Particularly when I see video from something like the Democrat Party sponsored Women's March or any of these other just limited hangout parades that actually get people out of their house and into the streets for all of the feel-good, wrong-ass reasons. We get into that a little bit. And so much more a little bit later in the show. I believe we're going to be joined by Angela McArdle from the Los Angeles Libertarian Party. I've got the opportunity to meet and hang out with Angela a couple of times. She gave a hell of a speech at the End the Damn Wars event on September 11th in Sacramento, California, where I was at. She opened the event. Or at least the speaker portion of the event, because there was another gentleman who was playing some great music there to start the day off. But it was Angela and then the Libertarian candidate for governor in the recall election. I can't remember his name, politician. It just didn't sink in. And then Adam Kokesh got up and just crushed it. And it's funny to say it that way. Like, I ignored the politicians so I could listen to Adam Kokesh's speech when Adam Kokesh ran for president. But I kind of feel like anyone who's running for president with a platform of, within 3 days, I'm going to legalize all drugs, release all political prisoners and start the immediate dissolving of the federal government, is running for president to advance the ideas of liberty, to advance the ideas that we don't necessarily need a massive centralized state to be our daddy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, I'm justifying is what I'm doing. I think that it's perfectly clear for everybody to see that. Moving along, and I would like to say good morning to everybody. What's up to everyone watching over on the YouTubes and Rockfin? We had a little problem getting to live stream on Odyssey this morning. I'm not entirely sure why. But whoever you are and wherever you're coming from and tuning in from, a good morning to you, and I hope you have a kick-ass day. This show is sponsored by Matrix Bars. That is the QR code. I'm really bad at this still. The QR code right up there in the corner of the screen. You can scan that on your phone, and the White Rabbit will come and talk to you about your Matrix Bar selection, or you can DM them on Twitter and Instagram at Matrix Genetics, MatrixGenetics, and get your very own or several of your very own 3.5 gram of psilocybin mushroom chocolate bars. They are absolutely delicious, and yeah, man, they work. They do the trick. I enjoyed them quite a lot. When I get back to Humboldt, we're gonna have some fun. Let's see, Matrix Genetics. Fuck yeah, dude. If you're curious about it, if you haven't had an experience with them, or if you have tried mushrooms where you just ate them raw and they tasted like shit because they grow on shit, and you kind of have like there's a taste reaction that you have that makes it so that you don't want to do that, even though you did have an enjoyable experience. Chocolate is a great way to infuse the psilocybin and not give you the kind of, I don't know, whatever, like head thing. That was a great one, Scarecrow. We'll leave that up. At any rate, the chocolate's fucking delicious. Dark chocolate, there's like a cookies and cream flavor and a strawberry cream flavor, which I personally hate, like the taste of, but with the chocolate, it tastes really good. So I'm not even sure how they did that. Fucking wizards. Are you a wizard? Wikileaks turned 15 yesterday. And that's wild. That's wild. 15 years for this outlet, in which, for the vast majority now of its existence, as thus far the only major outlet to maintain a 100% accuracy rating, they have spent, their founder has spent 2/3 of that 15 years in some form or another of illegal and arbitrary detention. A little bit more. And yet, even with Julian Assange detained in the embassy, they managed to release some of the most prolific and high-profile leaks in history. Absolute history. They put this together yesterday. It's like a short 30-second thing in honor of that, and I wanted to play it because it's fucking cool. So, except for I'm actually going to hit the share audio, because that's what you need to do when you're going to share audio. You would think that I haven't done this in a while. Oh, okay, but there's no sound, so that didn't even matter. Almost 12,000 documents. I mean, that's just impressive. So let's kind of leave it up there for a second, because according to Julian Assange, he started WikiLeaks because he wanted to shrink the gap between people coming forward with sensitive information and the public being able to find out about that information. It's the sole purpose for WikiLeaks, because traditionally in the corporate press and the national media, and even through independent media as well, just because of how long it takes to circulate the story, or at least traditionally before social media at any rate, there could be years before a whistleblower came forward with information and the public was able to find out about it. In many cases, it wasn't even a whistleblower. It was somebody that was relying on a Freedom of Information Act request, where the government can stall out and filibuster and not answer and make you refile and just sort of wait you out and engage in lawfare and make it so that it is too financially impossible for you to keep up with the payment schedule of refiling for all of these Freedom of Information Act requests, so that you just give up. You know what? I'll move on. We'll try something easier. Maybe we'll get some information that way. So WikiLeaks and the entire concept of scientific journalism is to reduce the amount of time that it takes for the public to be able to have this information, and then hopefully be able to do something about it, act on it in a responsible manner, organize around it, whatever. In the case of Iceland, fire all of the politicians and the bankers. That's what the result of a WikiLeaks drop was for the nation of Iceland. They got rid of everybody. The U.S., on the other hand, said, no, we should get rid of the person who told us about this. We should. So they effectively have. I wanted to kind of juxtapose this, though, the 15-year anniversary of WikiLeaks with the release of the Pandora papers. We haven't had an opportunity to talk about this yet. There's probably going to be some significant discussion on it going forward. But just to sort of introduce it, and to kind of let you know where I am about it, I 100% think that the Panama Papers are a controlled release of information by our intelligence community. It looks and smells like the precise hack and dump operation that Mike Pompeo was bragging about just a couple of years ago. When you get, and here's why. Ordinarily, when you've got a massive information drop like this, the companies and the people involved, well, I'm going to leave this up here for a minute, and you guys tell me if there's anything that you notice about certain areas of this map. So out of all of the countries, the 336 politicians that are involved here, the only one, the UK there, whatever the fuck that is up there, I'm not on, like, that looks like northern Alaska, I'm not sure, but these are the only times that this hack and dump touches a Five Eyes nation out of the 336 people that were involved in this. Now this is a good point from Mint Press, which is why I wanted it up here today. Make this a little bigger. So yesterday, Facebook took a shit, Instagram took a shit, but not only that, a ton of other apps and sites took a shit too. Mint Press and a number of other people kind of just connecting the dots here. Global internet services are down potentially as a result of cyber attacks in response to the Pandora papers. No, but, decent. this is obviously about 11 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast yesterday, noonish on the West Coast yesterday. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast, is right around the time frame of this. 2 o'clock on the East Coast. Facebook offline, about 1.5 billion users' data is being sold. We'll come back to that. Instagram is down. WhatsApp is down. Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T are down. Coinbase is experiencing errors. Facts. All of these things happen. The U.S. Army is investigating potential security threats as a result of down services. Of course they are. Facebook and Instagram appear to have been severed from their global DNS routing. Yes, they were. So this is where it kind of goes, oh, okay. If you were just listening to the commentary and you're like, Steve, you're a conspiracy theorist. There is absolutely no way that the global intelligence community or the oligarchs that make sure that the global intelligence community gets to operate unimpeded had anything to do with the release of the Pandora Papers. And yet, the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists releases this thank you note. We're incredibly grateful to our supporters who made this work possible. This work being the Pandora Papers. The following list, current as of June 2021, includes institutional and major individual donors who provided support in 2019 through 2021 for this clearly, 2+ year project from a totally anonymous hacker starting in early 2019. Totally anonymous hacker just gave all of these outlets this specific information about specific politicians and where they parked their money in ways that will only benefit global regulators, the World Economic Forum, and the Biden administration. Let's take a look at the list here. The Odysseum Foundation, Arnold Ventures, Bain Paul Foundations, Barbara Streisand. Sure. Bertha Foundation, Ford Foundation, the Franklin Philanthropic Foundation, the Fred Ord Foundation, the Fund for Nonprofit News of the Miami Foundation, Green Park Foundation, Hollywood Foreign Press Association, Hurd Foundation, John and Florence Newman Foundation, Jonathan Logan Family Foundation, Illuminati. I'm not even... Illuminati, sure. The Illuminati funded this. KCIG, Newstapa, Meryl Streep, because why wouldn't Meryl Streep want to know where international financiers hide their money? The National Postcode Liturgy, NORAD, because why wouldn't NORAD? The Open Society Foundation. You got to wonder how much Soros money is part of all of this. The Swedish Postcode Foundation, because why wouldn't they? Wellspring Philanthropic Fund. That's something that we can do an entire show on, is the Wellspring organization. In 2018, Donald Trump gave the CIA expanded cyber hacking authorities, which some commenters have surmised were used in the Pandora Papers info dump. Well, no shit. Okay, here's the money quote. In 2018, President Trump granted the CIA expansive legal authorities to carry out covert actions in cyberspace, providing the agency with powers it had sought since W. The former U.S. officials directly familiar with the matter told Yahoo News. Correct. All of this appears to be a very straightforward hack and dump. And then, of course, the down detector had everybody fucking up yesterday. I have not been back to the... Okay. Go ahead and drop that for a minute. That's funny. Okay. Let's see. What was I gonna go to over here? Yeah, we're gonna jump into the whole Pandora Papers thing a little bit later on this week, and we've got some good stuff coming up. Let me go ahead and check this calendar here, Rook. Tomorrow, I'm looking forward to this. Tessa Fights Robots. She'll be back on the show. Thursday morning for Slow News Day in the AM. I'm going to sit down with Danny Haifong. Pretty sure everybody heard that right. Danny Haifong is going to join the show. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, and I imagine that China will come up. I do. We've talked about this, where what the... You know what? I don't know enough about. I honestly don't know enough about. I did a show last night with Frantic Missy, and she had said that China was sending around 40 ships to Taiwan to attack while we're doing a massive naval exercise in the South China Seas. China attacking Taiwan could be viewed as provocation to the West. All it takes is for one of those ships to have an accident, and it gets pretty fucking hectic. But I don't know enough about that, so I don't want to freak anybody out. I don't want to scaremonger over this. We've been talking about escalations of proxy wars between the U.S. and China for years now, so this isn't necessarily out of pocket or just hyperbolic ranting. But we also know that at the highest levels of power, there are not nation states, there are not borders, there's no such thing as patriotism, there's no such thing as nationalism. Those are they're leashes. They're leashes that oligarchs put on you, but they're those retractable ones where you feel like you can get let out for 25 feet or more. And you forget that there's somebody on the other end of it that can just push a button and stop your forward movement and can then reel you back. So they've got people on these extended fucking leashes now. And as long as people aren't curious enough or adventurous enough, they're not going to find out where the end of that leash is. If you've got 25 feet to roam and you're only curious enough to go 20 feet, you are going to think that you are the freest human being on the planet. But if you step 5 more feet in an inch, you're going to find out. That's hilarious, Cutler. Look, dude, we've had people beating the drums for war for China for a very, 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 very long time. And with a dementia-riddled pedophile who is in full mental decline, being the figurehead for the country, who anytime someone challenges him, he screams in this insane macho posturing. That's a dangerous situation, really. Been watching Serbia and Kosovo heating up, fighters and bombers strafing the border last. No, I did not know that. That's a fucking shame. Yeah. Little crosstalk in the YouTube live chat. Benjamin Balderson, my homeboy and housemate when I'm in Humboldt County, had a fantastic interview with Owen Benjamin last week. It was a great conversation, and that's up on Ben's Rockfin. You should check that out. Little kick it time with the big bird. Wonder if I actually heard back from Angela. Because that will be cool. Okay. Okay, so Angela cannot connect to the internet. So we're probably gonna have a little bit shorter of a show, but no big deal. Drop a note in the MCSC chat and see if anybody wants to pop in. Man, it has been supplied, like it's been tech fuckery all over the place. I was supposed to have, well, I'll tell you about that. So if you guys were around this weekend, I had a fantastic conversation with Max Blumenthal about a number of things, including Max's personal and the gray zone's professional hesitancy and sort of lateness to the party on covering the realities around the situation that we currently find. I'm on YouTube. I'm trying to be a little bit careful here. You guys all know what I'm talking about. There was a significant portion of time where the majority of the focus in the stories in the gray zone were about everything but the coronavirus. That has changed, and so I wanted to know why. So I asked right off the bat. And Ryan Christian, the last American vagabond, who is not trying to like hide the fact that we're friends, we like personally, and also work together in a professional or collegial atmosphere. Ryan got a hold of me right after, and he was like, "Hey, that was incredibly surprising. You did a fantastic job. I would like to respond to this, and I would like to go through kind of point by point." I'm like, "Okay, sure. I would provide that space to more or less anyone anyway. Let's do it." We got on the video call. He and I were talking just fine through StreamYard, but StreamYard wouldn't let us live stream. Like there was something going on their end on the network. So whatever, and again, I don't know. I really don't. I'm not trying to. We'll get into this. But whatever was causing the mass fuckery with all of the larger platforms rolled over into StreamYard. According to them, they don't know why. At any rate, the result was from like basically the exact time I was trying to live stream, StreamYard was down. Ryan and I couldn't do it. We're going to try and have a make-up interview today or tomorrow, something like that. And looking forward to how that rolls down. I don't know. I'm going to get back into the StreamYard chat here in a second, see what you guys are saying. But I'm trying to get a message to the rest of the MCSC people. Well, motherfucker. We do it live, guys. We do it live. Back over here. I wasn't able to access my Facebook page that doesn't exist. Yeah, that's what was was cracking me up. Okay, so this is what the Mempress thing where they're talking about 1.5 billion Facebook users having their data sold. Let's talk about that for a minute, because I don't want bad information getting out or misinformation getting out, anything like that. The data that got sold, the user data for 1.5 billion individuals with Facebook accounts, that was all information that was already publicly available on Facebook. That was shit that people had volunteered to give up. So what happened was a individual or group of hackers scraped all of the publicly available data on Facebook, and then they collated it, and then they presented that package of collated data as a product. Because when you've got all of this information about someone, it's much, much, much easier to send them like a targeted phishing email, or to generate a password based off of that data, shit like that. That allows a kit for hackers to be able to get into your shit much, much easier. No, Natalie, don't reactivate your Facebook. There's no reason to do that. Personally, I am all for Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, all of it, like, dude, it can go away. It can. We'll figure something out. We will, I promise. We're relatively smart people. Oh, you know what? I did want to do this. There's an older video to kind of circle back to WikiLeaks at 15. There's an older video that goes through, as of a couple of years ago, some of the top releases that WikiLeaks has done. And just to kind of remind you guys, just to, of the impact that this outlet has had over the last 15 years. I'm going to pull that up for a minute. It's like 2.5 minutes or so. And it's a good one. Jesus, young Julian Assange is tripping me out.
Light them all up. Come on, fire!
Anytime the Sony hack is brought up, I do have to give a little tip of the hat to Barrett Brown. And if you know, you know. You really, oh, the fuck. We got some MySpace shit going on in the YouTube chat. So, Natalie Williams, collateral murder, surprised so many folks don't even know about it. This is why Natalie, in 2 days, 2.5 days, oh my God, Thursday afternoon, I will be premiering my brand new podcast called Memory Hold. And we're going to take stories or events in the recent past that should have ended the Predator class, but because of the massive suppression effort to get people to erase their fucking memory of any of these events, the sort of collective mind gave up on it and moved on. Eliminated these events from their memory. So we're going to attempt to get people to remember again. We're going to try, hopefully, to get people to connect for themselves all of these things, because one of the things that we're going to be able to do with this show is show you the players, introduce you to the people involved, and then over the course of time, you're going to realize, holy fuck, I keep hearing all the same names. They all have the same connections. They all, you know, it's all the same fucking demons. Holy shit, the money doesn't even leave the room. Sometimes they have somebody wheel in another barrel full of money and dump it in the middle of the room, but it doesn't ever leave. And then, you know, libertarian anarchy reigns supreme. I don't know. I really don't. I love that. I actually do. I love that, Natalie. I would rather be asked who is Julian Assange than have some puffed up 118-pound four-eyed fucking, you know, supreme beta run up on me and be like, that man is a rapist. Okay, one, you're about to lose your teeth. Two, you're wrong. So you want to find out why you're wrong, or you want me to hate you? Richard Pryor in the Rockfin chat says, that sounds like a good podcast. I remember Gary Webb. Richard, it will please you to know that the very first inaugural episode of Memory Hold is on Gary Webb. That's pretty fortuitous there, my friend. It is. And I've had a lot of fun with that episode too. So let's see, what all do I have over here in the, okay, so you know what, for the last half of the show here, I think I am going to go ahead and do the rest of it on Rockfin. I've got some stories in the news queue to discuss that will get our YouTube channel taken away from us. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Rockfin link. I will put it in the stream right here. Yeah, that Sony Pictures hack was raw too, man. If you don't remember that, if you don't remember the Sony Pictures dump, oh dude, go back and revisit it. It's wild. Okay, guys, so the link to the Rockfin is in the YouTube stream. If you're watching on the YouTube, why? They remove our content, they censor our speech, they make it so we cannot make a living doing this. Please do click on the link, come over and see us on the Rockfin. If you do not have a Rockfin account, that doesn't matter. You can still watch the video for free. If you want to participate in the chat, you can make a free Rockfin account. If you love what we do and you want to see all of the paywalled content on the network, you can endorse the channel for $9.99 a month, and that's exactly what happens. You get everybody's paywalled content and you endorse the show. It's a great way to support us. It helps keep the lights on, helps keep us rolling along and eating and all that kind of good shit. ROKFIN. Link is in the chat, and I am going to kill the YouTube, so goodbye.